Ladies, welcome back to the show. Okay, I almost recorded this episode outside. I was like, it's just like that little hint of like cool air is like, it's there, it's present, but we're not quite there yet. I was like, I had my laptop, had the mic. I was like, we're going outside. Like I'm so ready for fall, you guys. My brain is like switched off of summer, but the Arkansas heat is definitely not. We had a heat advisory like a couple days ago. I'm like, I'm done. But I can promise you guys, once it does cool down, we will totally be podcasting and YouTubing out on my back porch. I'm curious to see what it looks like, how it goes. But I really think my mic is good enough that we shouldn't hear the birds and squirrels too much. I'm a little bit worried about like traffic possibly going by, but I don't know. I think that we can do it. And I just think that it would make for, I don't know, a fun experience. It might look a little better than my pink wall. So anyways, not happening today, too hot, but I'm really excited to talk to you guys today. I want to talk about 3 super relevant at this moment mistakes that I am seeing from women that want to lose body fat that's holding them back from seeing the results that they want. I'm diving straight into this conversation. Number 1, we're going to talk commitment. We're going to talk scale, of course, and we're going to talk tracking. Okay. 3 things that I am seeing over and over again right now, present in the moment with you guys, that it's holding you back from losing body fat. And we got to get on with this stuff because summer is, it's coming. And I know if you listened to my episode a while back, I literally recorded an episode on like your dream body for next summer. It starts right now. So we can't waste any more time. Okay. Number 1 is commitment issues. Okay. So this is really funny. I'm going to plug a little background story here. So I was listening to my girlfriend who's dating, talking about her dating woes in 2024 technology age with dating apps and things. Talking about just how there's like a low level of commitment, how it's hard to find like genuine connection. And this is really in her mind, and of course, like it makes sense, created from the mindset that everyone has that's dating right now. And if you're dating, and you're on dating apps, like you may be experiencing this too, of like, there's not this genuine connection. There's not this commitment because you're just a swipe away from like the next best thing. Like, what if your person is like one swipe away? And so she's talking about this and these like dating woes, and I was literally dying inside because all I could think is that this struggle that she's having with dating is the exact same struggle that I see women in weight loss having right now, today in 2024. Okay. And at the expense of like sounding too dramatic, I actually saw this issue like 8 years ago when I started in the industry. And I don't really like drawing a ton of attention like to negative things. It's just like not in my like authentic self. I would rather like focus on the positive, but sometimes it's imperative that we call these kind of like ickier, uglier things out so that we can make sure that they're not holding us back, which there's a very good chance. Like this is going to hit for several of you guys. Okay. So scrolling on social media, I get like just on the Explore feed, I got hit with 20 different plans and programs for weight loss within like, I don't know, I'd say like a 2-minute time period, like 90 seconds, maybe even like 20 different plans. And every single one of these people just promised me that they had the results and the answers that I was looking for. Now pause, because I know you're thinking, Hillary, hello, this is what you do. Guys, I'm in this business too. I am not shading anybody. That's not what this is. So hold on a second, okay? Let me move my coffee cup with my hands flying all over the place. I am not saying that I'm not in this business too, okay? Here's the thing. The problem lies in if you are a woman and you are trying to lose weight, if you are not committing to a plan consistently, then you probably won't, or you will not see the results that you want, okay? What does this have to do with the dating app thing? It's the exact same thing. It is very easy to abandon ship when the going gets tough, when it gets a little hard, when you know, because you scroll and see 20 different people selling you their promise, when you know that there's something else out there. Right? Right? Am I right? You know what I'm talking about? Like, how easy is it to be like, oh, this just isn't working. Forget it. This just didn't work. I'm going to abandon ship. Okay. Now, also, I want you guys to hear me out about something, okay? I am all for finding your perfect match for you. And you have to. You absolutely have to, because it has to be sustainable. We're not just talking about losing weight for the short term, right? You got to find a plan that is sustainable. But here's the deal, okay? If you want to have lasting success and lose this weight once and for all, it is going to require commitment. It is going to require consistency. And if you have it in the back of your mind that at any moment when the going gets tough, you can just throw in the towel because there's something else out there, you're just one swipe away from the next plan, the one for you, then it's going to be hard to get to where you want to be. And this is a problem that I see a lot with program hopping, and I've brought this one to light a lot because I have a POV of, for me, in my 100-pound weight loss transformation, I committed to the plan. I didn't hop around. Like, when I decided I was going to lose the weight and I wanted to do it in a balanced, flexible way, I was all in. I was married to the plan. And aside from my experience, I see this with my clients all the time. If they come in and they commit to the plan and they see it through, the good times and the bad, for better or for worse, and they stay with it, they get the result. Like the progress pictures on our page, our testimonials, our clients who've lost, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 plus pounds with us, they committed to the plan. Did things get tough sometimes? Yeah. Did they want to throw in the towel? Did they want to give up? Yes, but they were committed to the plan. And if you are somebody, I'm speaking to a specific one right now, if you're somebody who you find yourself hopping from one thing to the next, and you're constantly doing that, and you're never getting the results you want, and you're never making meaningful progress towards your goals, it's time to ask yourself, is this really an issue with the plans that I'm doing? Or is this an issue with my commitment level? At some point, we got to just commit. We can't date forever. You can, but then you can't be surprised when you're stuck in the toxic cycle of dieting for weight loss for your whole life and yet never even living in a body that you're happy in. At some point, we got to put on the adult pants and commit to a plan, whatever plan it is, and commit to it and be consistent with it and make meaningful progress with it. Another way that I actually see this come up too is following 5,000 coaches and creators on social media. And I'm and I've said this 100 times, I'm so thankful that I went through my transformation a decade ago. There was still it even feels weird to say this, but there was still a lot of coaches and options and creators and all this out there, not really creators back then, but there was options and plans and things. There's always been different diet plans, but it's nothing like it is now. It's nothing like it is now. And the climate of social media and how it is now, I don't blame you guys for this commitment hopping. I don't blame, just like I see for my friend, what the struggle is with dating. Yeah. I mean, I can see how it would be very easy to be low level commitment to things when you got that in the back of your head of I can always just jump to the next thing. And so I see this with women who follow 5,000 different coaches and creators. Now, if you're following a bunch of different people and you're really making meaningful progress towards your goals, then that's awesome. Maybe you're somebody who loves learning. Maybe you love taking away little tidbits. But I have to ask, if I'm hitting a nerve with you and you're somebody who is constantly hopping from one program to the next and the grass is always greener on the other side and you're always off and you're on these plans and you're following all these different creators and you're like trying to do this person's plan and then you're trying to take a little bit from this person and it kind of conflicts with this person you follow, but you're going to kind of try and do it anyways and you're trying to like make this like big like mushy mess abstract diet weight loss plan put together by all of this different stuff, and you're confused why you're not making progress. I can tell you why you're not making progress. You got to find a plan and you got to commit to it. And so with this idea of all these different creators and coaches and following all these different people, you got to ask yourself, if you're not making progress, again, if you're not making progress, are you really learning? And how good is learning? I think sometimes we confuse this little dopamine hit that we get from these truth bombs or these little golden nuggets that we sometimes get from the hit of like these social media posts of like, ooh, I learned something and it feels good. It's a dopamine hit and it feels good. And so we're like, ooh, yes, like I learned something. And yet, are we taking action on it? Are we actually applying it? And your brain can kind of trick you into feeling productive towards your weight loss goals because you learned something. Maybe even like kind of did it with your meal prep or whatever, the little hack you learned or whatever, but like you feel like you're being productive. I'm researching, I'm learning. But again, I'm speaking to the woman who's not seeing the results she wants, who's not making the meaningful progress that she wants. Is it really helping? Is it really helping? Are you really committed? So again, I don't fault women. I literally said the other day, I feel for women trying to lose weight in 2024. I truly do. This is not coming from judgment. This is me calling this out is to help bring awareness and attention to it so that if this is something that's blocking your success, you can move it out of the way. Okay. So zero judgment, all accountability coach. Okay. For women in 2024, I feel for y'all because it's overwhelming. It's very overwhelming. If women were overwhelmed like a decade ago, even with all the options and all the choices, women today dang near don't stand a chance because at any moment you're on your plan and you're committed. And maybe you're having a tough day because the scale hasn't moved the way you want it to. And so now you're questioning everything and you're remembering that person that you saw that's doing that thing. And maybe that's the answer. Maybe that's the answer. And so you're going to hop to that. You're going to abandon what you're doing and hop to that. And because you're never just sitting in it long enough, because you're not consistent enough, because you're not committed enough to what you're doing, you're never really making that progress because it's just hopping and hopping and hopping and hopping and hopping, okay? And having that mindset of like, oop, that'll be the thing that finally solves all my problems, or oop, this got a little tough, so I'm gonna, throw in the towel and abandon ship and jump to the next thing. And this is a huge problem that I'm seeing with women right now in the weight loss industry in 2024. So just a little pro tip, as somebody who just did this recently with business stuff, unfollow. If you're following a million different coaches and creators and you're getting hit with all this conflicting information all the time, guys, just unfollow. Don't be afraid to detox your social media. Because here's the other thing. I see so many women that are just so overwhelmed. And I'm like, are you overwhelmed by the plan? Are you overwhelmed because you're trying to follow the plan, but then you're constantly seeing all this other stuff on social media and it's confusing you because it's not what your plan says. And so then you're like, well, this says to do that, but she said to do that. But then he said that that's bad. Are you overwhelmed by the plan, or are you overwhelmed because you're trying to be committed to the plan, but you're letting all this outside noise in? Detox it. Unfollow. I literally last week, I had a total mental breakdown, total transparency, and I unfollowed almost every business coach person out there. I just am so over it. I've never been more over it in my life. I'm just over it. So for my ladies who I know are doing this with weight loss and fitness and diet and all this, unfollow. Don't be afraid to detox, okay? You will feel so much better. You will feel so good when you get on social and you just like see those people who really align with you. And again, I know this isn't popular and maybe you're going to be like, well, Hillary, bye. Okay. If I am not your person, okay, I want you to find what is. I want you to find what aligns with you. I don't care what plan you do. I want you to succeed. I want you to be living in your hottest, fittest body with a relationship with food that you love, with a mental health that's good because you're proud of yourself, you're keeping your commitments to yourself. Like, I want you to have it all. I don't care what the plan is. I want you to get there. I want you to stop feeling stuck and overwhelmed and frustrated and just get there already. So do what you need to do. And if this one's hitting a nerve because you're a program hopper and you know it, okay, and you get the dopamine hits from following all the people, but you're not taking action, or it's constantly making you doubt yourself, change it. Do something about it. Again, no judgment, all accountability, because I had to do this with myself. Yes, in another area, but like, I'm done. I don't care about what your business plan says. That doesn't work for me. I like me. I like how I do stuff. You know who I trust to do this? Me. Okay. So anyways, it's a different topic, but it's the same thing. Okay. So I'm seeing this mistake a lot. Stay committed to a plan. Keep going with it. I promise you, this will unlock the transformation that you're looking for. Okay, number 2 is the scale. Guys, deep breath. That was a little rant. Deep breath. Okay, guys, this is holding you back from seeing the results you want. I'm seeing this one so much right now. And I feel like I say it all the time. And so sometimes I'm like, I just feel like I'm saying it over and over again. But that's kind of part of my job, is that I have to say this stuff over and over. Because guess what? Sometimes it's the 50th time that you hear it that it sinks in. So here we go again. You've heard me say it before. I'm going to say it now. If you are making progress in how you feel in your body, meaning your clothes are fitting better, you're less bloated, you've got more energy, you feel full, you feel energized. Did I say, I repeated energy twice. You feel full, you feel satisfied in your meals. You are creating good habits, like all this. And if you are feeling better in your clothing, if it's fitting looser and you feel leaner and less bloated and you're seeing progress in that way, but you're mad because the scale isn't doing what you want it to, I need you to understand that fat loss doesn't always show up on the scale. The scale can be up. Guys, you could go to the bathroom right now and drop 2 pounds. Okay? You could go number 2 and drop 2 pounds. Like, what is happening on the scale? You've got to realize that the inflammation and the water and your digestion has nothing to do with what's happening for your body. Now, again, I'm always going to say this. If you are not seeing any progress at all, you don't feel leaner and your clothes aren't fitting better and all that, you have every right to be frustrated. Okay? Like, I'm not talking to the woman who's doing this and she's not seeing the progress. If that's happening, then we got to make an adjustment. We got to make a tweak. We got to do something. Okay. I'm talking to the woman who is feeling better, is feeling leaner. Ooh, my clothes are fitting a little better, even a little but you're mad because the scale isn't doing what you want. Who cares what the scale says? Fat loss is what's happening with your clothes. Okay, fat loss, your clothes don't lie. They're not lying. Like that is progress that is meaningful for fat loss. Your weight on the scale, it just could be so many different things that have absolutely nothing to do with your body composition. So to throw in the towel, to get frustrated, to let it ruin your day is crazy in 2024. It is. And I get it because 100%, I've shared this very openly and I have certainly done it with clients. I've got 2 clients just last week who, and in their progress check-ins, I said, okay, we're taking a break from the scale. Okay, like you can step away from the scale because you just can't quite get over it. Like it is hard for you to get past this. It's just so deeply ingrained. Put the scale away. That's totally okay. You don't have to measure your progress with the scale. You can use all the other forms of measuring progress. In fact, I want to ask you, like, if the scale wasn't even in the picture and you were simply going off of how your clothes felt and stuff, would you not be on top of the world if your clothes are fitting better? If you're like feeling leaner in your body, the bloat is going away. You're like kind of, like when you put your hands on your hips, your stomach, your waist, like you feel it. Are you not going to be on top of the world? But then you get on the scale and now you've got that dark cloud hanging over you where you're just like upset over a number that literally could have to do with like if you pooped today. Guys, in 2024, I have to make you guys understand that fat loss progress, it happens outside of the scale. It does. And I can understand if you need to step away from it again. Coming back to it. But we gotta see that if we're sabotaging and we're quitting and we're throwing in the towel because the scale isn't moving or it's not moving fast enough or as much as it did when you did keto or as much as your coworker, is experiencing, but you feel better and you're seeing progress otherwise, we got to stop sabotaging. We got to stop letting it hang over us. I'm telling you, I am seeing this one so much hold women back, and we've just got to throw it away. We got to throw it away. It's old school. It's outdated to only be measuring our progress with the scale. Okay, third thing that I am seeing hold women back is assuming instead of tracking honestly. This is one that I definitely, when I say no judgment, all accountability, I have had this experience myself many, many times over. This is the assumption, I haven't had that much to eat today. I didn't even eat breakfast. So I'm just going to kind of eat the rest of the day however I want. And because I skipped that one meal, I can kind of eat whatever I want and I will still be within my calories. Or those meals were kind of small, so they have to have been within my calories. I'm assuming, and y'all know the saying about assuming, I'm not going to say it, assuming that you're in your calories, assuming that your meal is small or not that many calories, assuming that because you skipped a meal, you've got all this wiggle room in the world. Assuming doesn't have any kind of assurance at all. You can't just assume your way to fat loss. You cannot assume your way to your dream body, okay? Tracking your food honestly, accurately, and consistently is how you can ensure that you sculpt your dream body and shed body fat. And I see this a lot with ladies right now trying to maybe be a bit more flexible with their logging and tracking. And certainly there's a time and a place to step away from logging. We have this in our program, Flex Days, we pop this in, and we also teach you how to do this in our maintenance mode. Yes, mindful eating is great. I am a huge fan of it. I've been talking about it a lot recently. Pairing it with your tracking is fabulous. But if fat loss is the goal, then we absolutely have to ensure that we are getting there the fastest route and also the most accurate route. And it's tracking. It's not assuming. And your mind will trick you. It really will, into feeling like that meal was small, or because I skipped and I was hungry all morning, I've got all this extra wiggle room. But assuming is really how you keep yourself stuck. And more importantly, it's how you end up frustrated, because again, your mind will trick you. And so you feel like you should be seeing progress. You feel like you're in your calories. I don't even eat that much. Ooh, that is my favorite saying coming from women that come into my program. I just feel like I don't eat that much. And then they come into my program, and when we check in 2-3 weeks, they're like, okay, well, assuming wasn't doing me any good. In fact, we just had a babe inside of our Balanced Babe Academy community give a progress update this past week on our weekly progress update thread. And she literally was talking about how she just assumed that, her portions and everything were great. And now she's in our program and she's lost several pounds just in the first few weeks. But it's because she's not assuming anymore. She's tracking for accuracy. So again, consistently, honestly, accurately tracking, it'll hold you back on your fat loss goals if you're going to keep assuming. Okay. So we got to get real with this one, and we got to get consistent with it, and we got to get honest with it as well. Not always the easiest, but I needed to bring these 3 things to y'all's attention because, again, I'm always going to kind of go off of what I'm seeing, what's relevant to the times. And I know it's hard out there, guys. Like, I get it as a coach who's in the thick of it with my clients and is, having conversations with you guys in the DM who walked the journey myself, I get it. And again, even a decade ago when I was going through this, there wasn't all these other options and there wasn't all this noise, outside noise. And I'm a little bit thankful for that for my own journey, but it kills me now as a coach who is truly passionate about helping you reach your goals and helping women reach their full potential and live in a body they feel amazing in and have a great relationship with food and all of this. Like, it kills me to know that you guys are so overwhelmed and that just some simple tweaks and shifts and awareness around these things, it really can make such a big difference. So soak it all in. If any of it hit a nerve, I am your, again, no judgment, all accountability, truth talk coach who's just here to help you see the results that I know you want to see. And sometimes that means we got to talk about some uncomfortable stuff and get these blocks out of the way so that we can actually reach those goals. And I know for you guys in this day and age with this technology and all this overwhelming stuff, it's a little bit tougher. So with all that said, I'm super excited. If you haven't gotten on our wait list yet, we've been working on something and I'm so pumped because next week we get to share it with the wait list exclusively to kick off the week and October. But you got to be on the list. So if you want to be the first to know and be in on all of the goodness when it comes to the bonuses associated and all the stuff, like, you got to get on the list. And a part of this, truthfully, is based off of us seeing like what's going on in this day and age. I say this all the time, but I'm very committed. Again, this is part of my unfollowing business accounts and stuff, is I'm like, I don't really care what anybody else is talking about or doing. I'm paying attention to what you guys need. Like, meeting you where you are is more important to me than anything. So I listen and I pay attention and I hear what the struggles are. And then my fix it brain goes into solution mode. How can we solve this problem? How can we create things that are supporting the problems that are now? Because I can tell you, the problems that I hear from you guys now aren't the problems I was hearing from y'all 2 years ago. Of course there's stuff that's across the board, but it's not the same. There's different stuff nowadays, and it's a lot of overwhelm. A lot of you guys are really, really overwhelmed, and you're busy and you got a lot going on and you've got all these other stressors. And so trying to lose weight is just making everything feel even harder. And I love showing you guys that it can actually be so much more simple than you thought, and that you can do this in a way that feels really good and doesn't feel like it's taking over your life, and that is lasting, most importantly, because we're not just here to do this for the temporary. We're here to get there and live in it so that it's the last diet or weight loss experience we ever need. So if all that sounds fabulous, then you got to get on our list. I'm just going to keep saying, get on the list. If you're listening to this after, I guess in a couple weeks, then this is going to be irrelevant with the list part. You'll already know. But if you're listening to this in real time, I'm just going to go ahead and drop the list in the show notes so that you can get on it. I'm super excited. So, all right, you guys, a little bit of a truth talk to kick off our week. As always, shoot me a DM on social media at Balance by Hillary with 1L, and let's chat. Let's connect and talk to me about this episode. If it hit a nerve for you, if you're mad at me and you want to yell at me, I'm sorry. It's with love, I promise. But if you had a light bulb moment, I love hearing those. So feel free to DM me. And you guys, I'll see you in the next show. Bye. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this episode of It's All About Balance. And if you did enjoy today's show, make sure that you're subscribed so that you never miss a new episode. If you have not already, please connect with me on social media. I absolutely love meeting you guys and getting to know you. I will drop the links to my social in the show notes as well as our website. And I will see you guys next time.